Hello, travelers. Come on in. Welcome to the Copper Fox Inn. Pull up a chair, take a seat, and join us as we discuss Homebrew for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I am Thomas the Human Bard. I am joined by...
Mercy, the Tiefling Wizard.
And
Onog, the half-orc.
Oh.
What?
Who?
What?
Who are you?
Oh. Onog, the half-orc barbarian? What are we doing?
Is there anyone else with you? Onog, the half-orc barbarian?
My normal seat that's much higher isn't here, so I'm like under the table.
Hello.
Well, Bean usually needs like a booster
Yeah,
seat because she's a little gnome.
Do you want me to, like, hold you up or something?
No.
Mr. the Barbarian, the half-orc barbarian. You said you're a barbarian. What subclass are you exactly?
A totem. I'm in tune
really?
with nature.
That's very interesting.
And all
What
of that.
totem are you? Are you the totem of the
bear?
Squirrel Barbarian?
No!
Because I have heard of those.
No!
And I thought that they seemed a little interesting, and I wanted to
hate
talk about them with
All
you.
of this.
Is it just Squirrel Girl? Or is it
I was
Kronk?
gonna say.
It's a little of both. Totem of the Squirrel. The path of the Totem Warrior is a spiritual journey, as the barbarian accepts a spirit animal as guide, protector, and inspiration. In battle, your Totem Spirit fills you with supernatural might, adding magical fuel to your barbarian rage. Perhaps you were raised by squirrels, or your tribe felt a strong affinity with these noble rodents. Maybe you simply had a pet squirrel, and that bond and connection between you was so strong that it was magical. Whatever the case, your spirit animal is the elegant and powerful squirrel.
No!
Spirit Seeker, yours is a path that seeks attunement with the natural world, giving you a kinship with beasts. At 3rd level, when you adopt this path, you gain the ability to cast beast sense and speak with animal spells, but only as rituals. Okay, that's fine. Totem Spirit, at 3rd level, when you adopt this path, you choose a Totem Spirit and gain its feature. So... it gives the normal examples of you adorn yourself with your totem animal. And it says, for example, if you have a squirrel totem spirit, your front teeth may grow abnormally large. If you choose squirrel while you're raging and aren't wearing heavy armor, your movement is unaffected by difficult terrain, you have a climbing speed equal to your walking speed, and you have advantage on dexterity acrobatics checks.
Cool.
Okay.
That's
How
so
we
good.
feeling
You
so
can
far?
scamper.
man.
You can
You can
scamper.
scamper.
I'm just imagining
What's-
like the roleplay possibilities of this barbarian who just like stuffs his cheeks full of acorns to eat later for his snack on the road. He's just climbing up trees with his bare hands.
Oh, squirrel hand.
No, dude.
Who just
Can you imagine?
when enemies run at okay, all right, squirrel hands. Okay, when enemies like run at him, he just like freezes and stares at them and just like twitches a couple times before he
Twitches a
like
little
reacts.
Okay.
Dude,
okay,
I'm
okay.
just imagining a big old buff boy, and he's raging, right? And then he's like, ah! And then he just like scampers up a wall, but he's like still screaming. He's just, ah! You're like,
I like to imagine that-
I don't know what to do with this. It's
Yeah,
too scary.
I like to imagine that his like rage cry is just the sort of chattering of a just a little squirrel chattering. Okay, at 6th level you gain.
Wait,
the magical
hold on.
benefit-
I haven't given my feedback yet.
Oh, you have actual feedback other than
I have
a
actual
horrible
feedback.
pained sound.
Other than just making noises. So while this is a very neat ability, this seems to be it's a useful exploratory ability, whereas all of the other totem animals, the level 3 ability is an explicit combat ability. It is something that
For sure.
helps you in combat specifically. And so this is one of those things where it's like, that is the most situational thing I think I've ever seen.
Oh, don't worry, it gets more
Well,
situational.
we all know
No.
the three pillars of play. There's combat, and bards.
Yeah, those are the 3 pillars of play. Okay, guys, we have to move on because I have to read this sentence and you have to hear it with your ears.
No.
Aspect of the beast at 6th level, so you get another magical benefit. Squirrel. You gain the resourcefulness of a squirrel. Your left and right cheeks each act as a separate extra-dimensional space.
No!
Yes! Yes!
What?
Yes!
Each cheek can hold up to 20 pounds of material, not exceeding a volume of 2 cubic feet. If either cheek is overloaded, you involuntarily vomit up the entire contents unharmed. You can retrieve an item from your cheeks using a bonus action,
reach in there?
although anyone else retrieving it requires an action.
Oh my god.
Wait, what do you mean anyone else retrieving it?
Someone can reach up into your cheeks.
It's a
If you're grappling and hitting someone, you're like, my hands are busy, reach into my mouth.
See,
There's
that's
a
a good
longsword in
utility
there.
ribbon ability.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, in the art, it kind of looks like maybe he's got like a pelican, like a sack there. He can hold it all in his lower jaw.
His goiter. So you no longer need to have somebody in the group be the dedicated bag of holding. You
Well,
are
you
now
do, but it's
obviously
him.
the dedicated bag of holding.
You
Physically,
are
don't
the
have to
bag of
get
holding.
one.
For
So
40
funny.
pounds.
2 cubic feet is really big.
Per cheek, yeah.
That's really big.
Per
You
cheek.
can't. How big can you open your mouth?
It's like sort of a tube. So like if you put a long stick in, like it can go in at an angle. You see.
Oh my gosh.
So it goes in like a tube, but then instead of like poking through your cheek, it just gets absorbed into the extra dimensional space.
Dude, you'd be so good at brushing your teeth, though.
I hate that. Thank you. Yes.
Because you
would
wouldn't,
be,
like,
you're right.
run into anything.
No, you'd be so bad because you would like shove in the toothbrush to brush your teeth and it would disappear.
Do you need to clean out the inside of the
There's,
extra
like,
dimensional
lost
space, or else
toothbrushes
it has
rattling
bad
around
like
in there.
breath?
When you pull stuff out
Oh,
of your
man.
mouth, is it wet?
Probably.
Like,
I would assume as much.
spitty?
Okay, Spirit Walker. At 10th level, you can cast Commune with Nature spell, but only as a ritual. When you do, a spiritual version of one of the animals you chose for Totem Spirit or aspect of the beast appears to convey you the information you seek. Okay, that's normal. That's fine. Okay. Totemic Attunement. At 14th level, you gain a magical benefit based on the totem animal of your choice. Squirrel. While raging, you can pass through the spaces of hostile creatures regardless of their size and can move along vertical surfaces on your turn without falling during the move.
Oh my gosh!
See, there you go. That's
Whoa.
So you're like a
Cool.
monk, you know, you can
you're like
run
a
up
mini,
walls.
a little mild monk.
Well, you already have a climb speed, which is the only part that kind of weirds me out.
Oh man, so the fact that you can move through hostile creature spaces. See, if it was an actual squirrel-sized squirrel we were talking about, we'd be like, oh, because it's small. It's
And it
like,
runs up your pants.
Right, yeah, running up. But this
It
is a
scampers.
big boy.
But this barbarian can run up your pants.
I like to think. See, I sort of feel like this barbarian thinks that they can. Like, they think that they can, like a squirrel, just like that they'll fit in there somehow, but they're just crashing right through.
Like the big dogs that
Just
think they're
everybody
lapdogs.
gets out of the way.
Yeah, yeah.
So here's another thing is like, what makes barbarians like dealable mentally? Like you're like, oh, I can face this guy, is because they're slower. You know, like not always, but it's that vision. It's that classic vision of he's big and he's strong, but at least I can outmaneuver him. You know, that's
I
like
can get out of his like range of attack.
yeah, you know, like, okay, you're like, the monk or the rogue is like, well, I'll just, like, scurry away. But a barbarian that can scurry right on after you
The
is
wizard
even
is hiding
scarier
behind
to me.
The wizard hiding behind their wall of skeletons and zombies. Used to be that the barbarian had to fight his way through. No longer. The barbarian can crawl her way under their legs, over their arms, around their
she
side.
can run straight up the wall.
She can run up the wall even, and there's nowhere safe from the squirrel totem.
But like,
boy.
you're still just as big. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
momentum
You're
is
still a
not a
beefcake.
thing that you have to worry about, you know? The laws of physics don't apply. You can just go from 0 to 20, boom.
That's so good. And they stop all of a sudden like a squirrel, and they just like freeze. And they're just staring at you. There's no like cooldown.
The problem is that one of the side effects is that the barbarians often lose all their weapons because they hide them everywhere, and then they like forget where they are.
They keep burying
And
all
then
their
they
weapons.
grow a new armory.
Yeah.
They're definitely also the forager of the group. Who's out gathering nuts and berries.
But they're not that good at it. Like the ranger goes out, gets nuts and berries for the group. The druid casts good berry. The squirrel barbarian's like, I got it, guys, and just sticks a bunch of junk in their cheeks. Comes back and
You're like, I'm good.
I'm all right, thanks. I'll eat the
Ugh.
good berry.
It's like raw acorns. I don't even think we can eat those.
Raw
No.
acorns are great pre-workout.
I think those are like poison or something.
Yeah, they have, like, that's what people use to tan leather. You know, like, they'll boil acorns and then, like,
the thing
use the
about
tan.
people is we're just untanned leather at
That's
the
the
end of the
problem.
day.
We don't want to tan ourselves into leather.
You can make bread out of acorns and stuff, but you have to process it, like, a lot.
Yeah.
You have to process it correctly,
Right.
for sure. All right, Onog, how have I offended you by presenting this? How do you feel about the totem of the squirrel path? Do you think you're going to
Well,
change over your totem animal anytime soon?
Absolutely not. But with the exception of the level 3 ability, these are all actually really cool and, while more flavorful, are actually relatively on par with some of the other totem abilities.
Yeah.
So,
I saw
Like
that the
these are
first
these are really
comment-
cool.
I saw that the first comment on this on Reddit was basically like, surprisingly, I have no feedback. It's weirdly well balanced. They were just
Yeah.
like, why is this good?
so if you were
Like
to...
I think a good like way to look at is like some of the eagle totem abilities, because the eagle totem has like the ability to dash as a bonus action, and like you
Enhanced
have disadvantage.
patriotism.
Yeah, well, there's that, but and is very like all of their abilities are very similar to this. Like you can look at some of the other totems and go, this is kind of like that, and that's a very good place to be starting. And I like I said, this is pretty darn balanced and effective.
yeah.
With the exception of the third level ability
level,
not
yeah,
being
it-
a combat oriented one.
Just spitballing, no need to worry about too much detail. If you were to imagine a third level squirrel-like combat ability that would be useful, what might you put forward as a brainstorm idea?
Well, like I was saying, the eagle ability allows you to dash as a bonus action, and you have disadvantage, or enemies have disadvantage on opportunity attacks for you. So something along the lines of that, like explicitly helps you in your mobility. So like you could maybe take like the first half of the 14th level ability and stick it on there, because that's basically what like eagles already get, kind of a thing. Or you could try something else like that feels like maybe getting a bite attack or something, you know, that you can use your enormous chompers for.
See, I would love it if it's just like, you count as both a medium and small creature.
Like what? But that like logistically, what does that mean?
You'd have to figure it out.
It
up
could
to
say,
you.
like, regardless of your size, you may count as a small creature for any ability or spell
Yeah,
that
like
affects
if
small
you-
creatures, if you choose
If you
to.
need to, yeah, like if you need to, you can.
So
count
you're this
small.
enormous Goliath like squirrel barbarian, but the gnome can dimension door away with you.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can fit
or
in the
even
little
pick you
dimension
up
door.
and drag you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, you'd have to play it though when you were doing Speak with Animals, like you were just like squeakity squeak squeakin' squeakin'
Oh, yeah.
squeakity squeak.
You gotta roll the cronk.
You gotta.
Yeah.
If you ever needed a way to play as Kronk though,
This is it.
I found it.
Yeah, this is
You
your
found it.
your D and
Good
D.
job.
Oh, thank you. This is your D&D Kronk subclass. If you're wanting that. Next, I'll be bringing a specific a druid that turns into a llama. We'll start fleshing out the Emperor's New Groove one shot that I've
Yeah.
been wanting to play.
And
Was
then
Yzma
we'll
just
place
wearing the
the
cloak
two
of 9
oracles.
lives?
Yeah.
Yeah, Yzma's just like a necromancer wizard who just uses the cloak.
We
of Nine
referenced
Lives.
that. We said like Yzma.
Yeah. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's all coming together. The Avengers of Emperor's New Groove is
Yeah,
all
yeah.
coming
Oh, yeah.
together.
And then
It's all-
the
The Avengers of
divination
that
wizards
one
that
movie.
are the children in that who somehow have like dreams that are portents of realities
Yeah,
to
do we
come.
want to talk about that for just a second? Hey, listeners, you can feel free to go. So the children in Emperor's New
They're
Groove,
dream
they
oracles.
dream. They have oracular dreams.
They're divination mages.
Wait, what are you talking about?
They
I had a
dream,
dream that my dad was going down the crazy river of death.
and I had a dream that he kissed a llama.
Yeah.
Yeah, those happened, and those children saw it in their dreams.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're all
Are they sorcerers?
No, they're not
of
seeing
some
the-
sort?
They're not
The
seeing the
mom.
future though, because they're just
No,
sensing
they are just
the danger
but
their
they are
father
still
is
sensing.
Okay,
They have
well, can
extrasensory
scry.
perception.
They can scry at least.
Yeah,
in
something.
their sleep. So I think the mom might be a paladin. I could see
fair
her
enough,
being
fair
like
enough.
a
But you're getting
paladin.
off point here. Those children have literal dreams where they can see their
Yeah,
dad,
that's what I'm saying.
and no one ever says anything about it. At least
Well,
Yzma,
also
they're
a
like,
llama
"Yzma, you're a
freezes
witch,
time and
sure."
starts drawing on himself.
Maybe if the divination wizard were interesting and not just like a wizard who can't even cast like
The spell
augury or-
divination.
yeah, like the spell divination. Maybe they could be.
They could
that.
be divination wizards.
But these
perhaps.
children are also just as strong as Kronk, because when they're jump roping with Kronk, they keep up. You know, Kronk is a big, strong boy. But these children
Oh, that's true.
go tat for tat
They are
with,
active.
with Kronk.
Wait a minute. I never said who this was from. This was from user From Brad to Worse,
Great name.
which I appreciate.
What a great
Oh, that's so good.
From Brad to Worse. Thank you so much for this blessing you've bestowed upon us. And with that, I think we will be closing up the episode. Thanks so much for listening, travelers. If you have homebrew that you want us to discuss on the show, that you've written yourself or that you found online, send it to us at our email, thecopperfoxinn@gmail.com, or on Twitter or Instagram at thecopperfoxinn, and comment below what you think of the pact of the Squirrel Warlock. I almost said the Totem of the Squirrel Barbarian.
No, we're looking.
Make a pact of the Squirrel Warlock
Also
and
make
send
a
it
pact
to
of
us.
Yeah, we will be
Squirrel Warlock,
reviewing
send that to
the
us.
Squirrel Lock later.
Pact
Okay.
Pact of the Unnamed Goose Warlock.
I believe that.
Yeah, that's good.
That works. That tracks.
The goose
Yeah,
is your
that
patron.
tracks.
Faux show.
The goose is loose in central Maine. And until next time, keep on adventuring.
He-Man adventuring?
The Goose is Loose in Central Maine was a reference to a radio show
Did
in
not.
Maine.
Yeah, no
so
one's
it's a
gonna
pretty
know what that
niche
is.
For all of our viewer in Maine will definitely get that joke.
Just stare
Hey.
blankly.
My dad will get the joke.
Your dad will listen and he'll get the joke. You go home for
It's a
Christmas,
s-
you reference, hey, Dad, remember when I referenced that? And
Yeah.
he's like, what? And you're like, you don't even listen?
He does listen.
God.
It's actually a slant reference because the real quote is "the moose is loose in Central Maine," which makes a lot more sense because it's Maine. And there
Sometimes
aren't
your
really
jokes
geese.
are operating on too many levels for the human mind.
I sometimes do slant references, which is very fair.
It's just funny because it's not.
Yeah.
I've invented the term slant,
Slant reference. It's
like
when
a
your
slant
reference
rhyme.
is
It's
in
a new-
italics.
It's a bard spell that he invented.
No, it's like,
the
you
slant
know,
reference.
a slant rhyme is like a rhyme that doesn't
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
actually rhyme.
Yeah,
a line
proved
with a
and loved.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, like Vicious
Can
Mockery,
any
you
of us
invented
talk?
the bard
What is
spell
going
slant
on?
reference that has the same effect as confusion.
I don't know. It's we've been talking for a while. But my slant reference theory is that I can make a reference that is almost right and still be upset if you don't get it. That's what I'm trying to say.
It wasn't even referencing the real thing.
I can say something close enough to that reference that I'll be offended if you don't get what
You
I'm
can
trying
say unrelated words in a similar cadence to the way an actor said a completely different set of words
Yes,
in a movie, and then be like,
exactly.
"You didn't recognize the lilt in my voice."
You didn't get it? Come on.
You've been doing this a lot lately.
It's my new thing.